This episode is brought to you by Pause, Breathe, Reflect, the app that can help bring more mindfulness to your everyday moments. Imagine what would be possible if more people could live more mindfully.
Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to the Kintsugi Podcast, a show for perfectly imperfect people everywhere. And today, people, as I record this, it's National Sticker Day. Yep, that's right. Here in the U.S., we care about things that truly matter, so we have dedicated a whole day to stickers. And today I have a goal of handing out 1,000 stickers, including some of our brand new, if you're on YouTube, you can see this, our brand new glow-in-the-dark stickers. It just brings me back to being a kid, hanging out in my closet, trying to hide from my parents. But this is a pretty cool sticker. And if you want one, fear not, because I know you're listening to this after National Sticker Day is over, but I'm a big believer that every day should be National Sticker Day. So I will put a link in the show notes because after all, this is a podcast and you need show notes and I need something to put in the show notes. So might as well put a link. So regardless of where you live on this big blue marble that we all share, I can send you a sticker. And once I do, take a photo of it and share with me where you've slapped your sticker. Now you might have heard the saying that silly rabbit, tricks are for kids, which is not true. Tricks should not be for kids because that is a toxic cereal. Adults shouldn't have tricks either. And you might think that stickers may be for kids, but not true either. Stickers are for everyone. In fact, when you look at habit creation, stickers can help be a primer or a cue to help you step into that habit you want to create, like pausing, breathing, and reflecting. You can look at James Clear's work in Atomic Habits just to underscore this point. The cue is the first step in habit creation. So when you slap a sticker on a water bottle or your computer, it can help remind you to pause, breathe, reflect, choose joy, choose happiness, choose compassion, ripple love, ripple kindness, remembering that slow is fast, all stickers that I hand out. So again, if you want a sticker, go to the show notes, click the link, and I will send you a sticker. Now I want to shift gears a bit to something more serious. Stickers are really helpful, but they're not as serious as the wildfires out in California. I've been devastated by the images. I'm a full country away here in the East Coast, but my daughter went to school out in LA, and a lot of the neighborhoods that are now rubble and ash, we created memories there. So I feel connected to the community in a way, but I'm not from California. I've never lived there, and I can't imagine what the people there in the LA vicinity, the LA area are going through. I don't have the words, to be honest. And I know this is a podcast, so I'm supposed to have words, but I don't have the words. The word empathy, though, got popular during the pandemic. That's all about recognizing the emotions and what people are going through, and empathy is really helpful. But as we head into 2025, I think the word we need more of is compassion. Compassion is different than empathy. Compassion is one of the 4 immeasurables, along with loving kindness, mudita, which is appreciative joy, and equanimity. Compassion is about taking action to help alleviate someone's suffering. And to help us do that, I came up with a new sweatshirt design with the words choose compassion on it. And the choose compassion is embroidered. It's a beautiful sweatshirt. Everything's made here in the US. Super soft, super cozy. And all the profits of this pop-up sale will go to the California Fire Foundation. They help firefighters. They help communities where the firefighters are there to protect those in the area. So this is a great way to get something pretty sweet, but also give back. And the way I'm going to do merch this year, this might be the only time the Choose Compassion sweatshirt is available because I've discovered I am horrible at inventory management and trying to guess what styles are going to be popular. So we're going to do a whole bunch of pop-up sales. And I was going to offer this up next month, but I felt compelled to do something. So I'm selling my Choose Compassion sweatshirts. There will be a link in the show notes. And if you pick one up, all the profits will go to the California Fire Foundation, and Pause, Breathe, Reflect will match all the money that we collect. So whatever comes from sweatshirt sales, I will match it from Pause, Breathe, Reflect. So I hope you'll join us in choosing compassion. I also hope you'll join us in our Pause, Breathe, Reflect community. It's a wonderful app. It's different than most apps out there because we do live practices throughout the week. So I know so many of us thirst for community, thirst for belonging. So I hope you'll check it out. You can pay whatever you can, meaning you can pay $1 for your first year. So it's easy to join, and I hope you will if you like what we share here on the Kintsugi Podcast. So as we enter Chapter 3 in our Kintsugi story, what I've been trying to do is share stories from history and show how they connect with modern day life. So I want to share another story with you. I want to take you back to 1964 in the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. This was the first time Japan got to host the Olympics. And as you can imagine, when you host the Olympics, it's a source of national pride. You bask in it. And for the Japanese, this was very important because it gave them a chance to showcase how they rebuilt their country since World War II. And what it did, sometimes this happens in countries, it sparked a fitness boom. And prior to the games, many officials in Japan were getting a little nervous, a little worried about the overall health of the Japanese around cardiovascular health. So this was a big deal. It was a really great Olympic Games, and it sparked this fitness boom. And so the next year, in 1965, the Yamasa Clock and Instrument Company came out with a new product called the Manpo Key pedometer. Now, Manpo Key has a joint meaning. If you break down Manpo, first man, that means 10,000. Po means steps. So you might sense where I'm going with all this. And key means meter or counter. So Manpo Key, the pedometer, is a 10,000 step counter. It wasn't the first pedometer out there, but it was the first one that was widely adopted for just everyday people use. And the number 10,000 stuck. So current day, people think of 10,000 steps is the mark that you should go after. If you get 10,000, great, you had a great day. If you fail to hit 10,000, you think you suck. It changes the conversation you have with yourself, which is not good. And when you look at fitness influencers, they cite 10,000. Wearables like Garmin, 10,000 steps. Apps will reference back to 10,000 steps. I just listened to a podcast on the way here, and the guy referenced 10,000 steps. So 10,000 steps is everywhere, but here's the rub. There's no science behind it. It was all a marketing thing because the Japanese generally like round numbers. A lot of cultures do, so 10,000 seemed like a good number. So 10,000 steps was just slick marketing hype, not scientific at all. So 10,000 shouldn't be the target. Now this, of course, begs the question, what's the right number then, Michael? And I'm going to give you an answer that I give to a lot of things, and it's so frustrating. And the answer is, well, it depends. The right number for you depends on a lot. You need some discernment. Fitness gurus and experts and influencers will get online and tell you exactly what you need to do. And they don't know you. Only you know you. You're the CEO of your own health. So they tell you what to do. Do this. No, don't do this. The next day they tell you to do that. And our head spins. And we give up on our health because it seems so damn complicated. Well, studies suggest that about 7,000 to 8,000 steps may be the right number. And if you put a little vigor in those 7,000 to 8,000, maybe not for all of them, but a percent, maybe 10%, 15%, that can be helpful because not every step should be the same. Some steps should make you feel a bit breathy, that gets the heart rate up. So 7,000 to 8,000 steps, depending on who you are, your fitness levels, your goals, may be a better number to aim at. But if you are planning to hike the Appalachian Trail here in the U.S. or the Pacific Coast Trail, you may wish to do more than 10,000. Again, it depends. We need greater discernment. We need greater care as we consume content around health and wellness. I heard someone say this just the other day, that our health is our new wealth. And I get that. I'm down for that. I also want boring to be the new edgy, because I believe we're going to go into a period of time where the headlines, those tantalizing headlines, And podcast shows and influencers and snake oil salesmen will go even edgier to grab your attention so they can sell you something new. The latest hack they're pushing. And you know what? In about 12 months, they'll push another hack. And it may be related or it could be completely different. Their aim is to line their pockets with more money, more status, more power, more position. The person that needs to be in charge of your health is you. And you can't delegate it to other people. Because this industry is filled with pseudoscience and people making extreme claims and trying to grab your attention with tantalizing headlines. A couple months ago, I saw one headline that suggests from a podcast, and the podcast, I think, can be the ones that do this the worst because there's very little fact-checking going on with podcasts. One podcast title was Triple Your Life Expectancy with 3 Health Hacks. Now, there are a few words that catch my attention when it comes to podcast episodes or headlines. Words like never and always and only and secret and best or number one or everything, everybody, nobody, forever, instant, and hack. When those words appear, and there are more words, and I can share with you even more words, I get a little nervous. I get a little suspicious with whatever content that's in the article or in the podcast. I recently heard another podcast with the number one neurosurgeon and how to manifest anything and unlock your mind. So one, I don't know how you become the number one neurosurgeon. I'm not sure if there's a Casey Kasem that ranks neurosurgeons. I don't think so. And the word anything to me is problematic because systematically the system isn't equitable to everyone. So we have to at least understand that part of it. But I won't go into these individual podcasts or a lot of other examples I have because I like to keep these episodes of Kintsugi somewhat concise. But I am recommending to you to bring more discernment and care when you think about what content you decide to consume. Now, the thing is, with those 2 particular podcast episodes, there were some nuggets of goodness, but there was also a lot of rubbish and stuff that wasn't scientifically proven. A lot of claims that no one bothered to fact check. And since good old Mr. Zuckerberg has decided not to fact check anything anymore, again, this is why I think we're going to go into a period of time, at least over the next couple of years, where it'll be even more Wild Westy, where more discernment and more care is going to be needed by all of us on a whole host of different topics. But our health, if our health is our new wealth, we have to double down and take responsibility on our health and having discernment as we listen and read and watch content about health and wellness. So that's my pitch in this particular episode of Kintsugi. The other thing, too, that I want the world to adopt is boring being the new edgy. Again, there'll be plenty of people that will try to out-edgy the other guy or gal who's trying to be edgy. That's just part of life. And with the internet and social media as it is, we're going to get more and more and more of that. So I've underscored that. Here are the things, though, that have never gone out of style. They're like that great white t-shirt in your closet. Like you can pair a white t-shirt with anything, right? If you have a good white t-shirt, like you perfect, right? But some of those other things that you bought in your closet, they were good back in 1985 or maybe 1972 or maybe 2012. But you know what? Not so good anymore, right? And you don't want to get rid of them just yet because that fashion trend might come back. But you know who's always there in your closet that you sometimes underestimate? It's your good old-fashioned white t-shirt. Your white t-shirt never complains, doesn't get jealous that you're, chasing the latest fashion trend, right? No, the white t-shirt's there right when you need it to be. It's always there. And if it had a voice, it'd probably say, you know what, you can wear me every day. And there's some really good white t-shirt health habits that I want to share with you. And these never go out of style. And if we just had a pair of jeans and a white t-shirt, I think we'd look pretty stylish every day. So here are the white t-shirt wellness tips, if you will. Sleep, right? Sleep. Getting proper amount of sleep never goes out of style. White t-shirt. Getting exercise, cardiovascular exercise. It's not all intense though. Some of it's that zone 2 that people talk about. Sometimes it gets really breathy. A little bit of a mixture. Some movement, strength training. We need strength training. Regardless of how old you are right now, the strength training you do, well, today, your 70-year-old version of you will thank you for lifting a few weights today. Flexibility, doing a little yoga. Yoga is not about getting into a pretzel. It's about having flexibility for all life. It's not necessarily about touching your toes. It's about what you discover about yourself as you try to touch your toes. Gut health, or the food you eat. Key, right? Never goes out of style. White t-shirt moment. Try to eat whole foods in their original format. That just makes sense. But we're not eating very well. We're chasing after all these food fads. So again, gut health, foods we choose. Mindfulness and mindset, which includes the conversation you have with yourself. Again, a white t-shirt type of thing to do. Never goes out of style. Gratitude, right? Awesome practice. Screen less time. Like, get off your damn phone. Stop scrolling. Start living more. And finally, social connections. Those are your white t-shirt items that we can do each and every day. And when you do, people will think you're showing up looking pretty good. And you don't have to follow all these hacks with people saying the best and the instant and the secret and all that stuff and all the gurus and all the influencers and all that jazz. I wrote a longer blog post about this. I'll put that in the show notes. Now these show notes for this episode are actually getting a little bit more robust. Pretty cool. I also put something on LinkedIn. I'll share the link to that as well. There's going to be so many links. I think these show notes are going to get a little confusing. But we'll see what happens. But here's my overall message. When you look at your health and wellness and healing, and this is experience that I've had really my whole life of being a top-level athlete, go with the white t-shirt ways to your health. Become more engaged in your overall wellness. Join us in our Pause, Breathe, Reflect community, but tap into your white t-shirts and be really wary of the gurus and experts as you head into the year. They're generally trying to sell you something, and they're not customizing their advice to your needs. Just like that company back in 1965, Yamasa Clock and Instrument, they came up with 10,000 because it met their need to have slick marketing. But that number isn't the right number. Only you know what the right number is for you. So approach your consumption of health and wellness and growth, media, videos, podcasts, and the like with more discernment and care this year. We're going to all have to do our own fact checking, and that's something that's going to take a little bit more time, but I promise you this, it will be worth it. And there we have it. Don't forget to ask for your sticker, again, in the show notes. And I want to thank you for giving some of your attention to the Kintsugi Podcast this week. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode. You can just pop me a note, and I'll pop you a sticker. But I always appreciate you listening. I love you for it. Of course, if you didn't listen, I would still love you because my love for you is unconditional. And until next week, let's celebrate our scars as golden symbols of our strength and resilience. Talk to you next week. Peace. Bye-bye.
This episode is brought to you by Pause, Breathe, Reflect, the app that can help bring more mindfulness to your everyday moments. Imagine what would be possible if more people could live more mindfully.